I buried my dad on the Friday and then went to jail on the Monday. I would definitely implore anyone who's having struggles or hard times just to reach out and talk to someone. Hi, I'm Troy Deeney and this is Box to Box. I feel like this is like I'm a celebrity and I'll put my hand in. We obviously go into these boxes. I have absolutely no clue what is in either box. Something I'd like to see, maybe some old memories, some nice photos, that'd be cool. I'm petrified of like snakes and bits like that. So if anything starts rattling, you will see me run. Mate, you've never seen anyone move as quick, trust me. The weight's all right, nothing's hissing, which is good. Oh, decent. It's a lovely bit of kit. Now I'm assuming we're talking about the fact that I talk a lot. Everything I've ever said about a person or situation has always had a reasoning behind it, and I don't purposely go out my way. I don't say this team is rubbish, I don't say that player is rubbish. I just talk about a situation and try and develop that.
You've created a stir a few times with your words.
Once or twice.
Like, why do you have the cojones to say what you really think?
Spoken like a true Arsenal fan. I think with the cojones situation, which has never really left, that was like one match, one incident I was talking about, and I got absolutely slaughtered by everybody for that. You had like loads of Arsenal fans going, yeah, we agree. Then you had a load of people like, he can't talk about me. But the best part was in the media, they all hammered me, like Paul Merson and people like that. Following week, Arsenal lose. And it's like, well, Troy Deeney said it, they're all using what I said. And it's like, well, no problem. Like, you can say it, but I just don't have any worries about words. I've grew up in a tough environment, so I'm careful with my words, because that normally, if you're too rude, you get a punch in the mouth. But I know what is respectful and what's not. Also, I then, after saying that, saw the Arsenal players a few weeks after. Nobody had a problem, they understood what I was saying. It wasn't saying I'm better than them, because I'm certainly not. It wasn't saying that Watford was better than them, because it's certainly not. It's just in that individual game, I thought they lacked the steel to see it over the line, and that was it. Can I open? Ooh. Available in all stores, everywhere. You know, kids do want to go to school, so if you could do this, I can pay for it. Thank you. I realise you got the cheaper one. I'm not going to say anything about that. Redemption is because that's basically my life. So I've had a troubled childhood, and a lot of things that went on in my childhood were actually happening when we started writing the book, which is in lockdown. And I was thinking about doing it, but I'm not sure. And then you just start writing, and continues to write, and it just developed into this. And I think what it helped really well is it brought our family together. As a kid, you kind of make fairy tales up, like, it weren't that bad, it was this, it was that. And then Mum was like, no, that was from a different scenario. And I'm understanding that I'm piecing the puzzles together. So in lockdown, if you wasn't able to get your thoughts together and figure out what was going on, then I don't know what you was doing with your time. I've got 4 kids, and I somehow managed to write a book and make a podcast in it. So it's just time just to reevaluate who you are and what you are. Yeah, it's called Redemption because I've been through a lot, made a lot of mistakes along the way, and I'm hopeful that this can just help one person. It's light-hearted, it's not as miserable as I'm making it sound, I promise. There's some fun bits in there, some football stuff, but there's a serious undertone to it, that there is real life struggles that everyone's going through.
Can you tell us about the importance of mental health, how psychology has helped you?
Wow. Mental health, understanding who you are, learning to deal with difficult situations, it's all learnt behaviours. The environment that I grew up in is very old school. Like, you don't talk about problems, you don't speak to police. They're the 2 things I was taught from a very young age. However, what I've noticed over the years is that I was portraying a lot of my earlier frustrations on my own children, who grew up in a completely different environment to me. But the biggest part for me is obviously when I got sentenced to jail for making my mistakes. It's a quick backstory on that. I buried my dad on the Friday and then went to jail on the Monday. So it was like very, very quick. My dad died after like a 3-month battle with cancer. So from finding that out to him dying was 3 months. Seeing my hero, the biggest and strongest man I'd ever knew, just crumble and break really quick. I just realised I was drinking an awful lot, and which ended up in my me getting into trouble and into my situation, and I wouldn't recommend anyone goes to jail to sort their problems out, but it certainly put me on a path. I definitely haven't finished that yet. Still doing therapy now. I'm actually doing 2 different types of therapy now. There's a lot of talk about mental health. There's a lot of talk about, you know, what that is and what that represents. Everyone has their own understanding. That's why I really dislike the word normal, because your normal and my normal are 2 completely different things. I would definitely implore anyone who's having struggles or hard times just to reach out and talk to someone. The first couple of times it's a bit painful, which is uncomfortable, but what I noticed, I slept a lot better afterwards. After 2-hour sessions, I was like all tense, and then go to bed, I'd sleep like 8 hours straight, and it's like, oh, this might be working. Oh, it's a dope picture. So the picture's sick. It just brings back like good memories. Yeah, so in that time, again, lockdown was just one of those moments in life where I think you had no choice but to sit and listen, and the passing of George Floyd happened. I think that video just did something to me, hit home, probably to a lot of people. 8.5 minutes of just witnessing someone dying. Like it makes you have this weird feeling where you're like, why isn't somebody helping? What's going on? And you start questioning yourself. I remember being in a Premier League meeting because we were discussing going back to play. On the agenda points, this was one of the topics to talk about. And I was talking to Wes and a WhatsApp while the Zoom's going on, like, all right, this is coming now, let's see what they propose. And at the time, me and Wes Morgan were the only 2 black captains at the time involved in the captains meeting. So we kind of like, well, okay, we're gonna just wrap the thing up there. Kind of avoided the question. I get it, because it's a real delicate situation to talk about. And then we just got into this situation where I'm talking, and I was like, this isn't fair, this isn't right, what are we gonna do? We need to do something. Once I'd shut up, all I heard was we go, okay, Troy, you lead it. And I was like, because I hadn't prepared for that. I just kind of had this rant. Before you knew it, I had, instead of it just being me ranting, it was like, Troy's absolutely right, we need to do something. Bang, 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 everyone saying it. And it was a really proud moment as well, like just to have the backing of all the players, because it's very easy, I think, in this current climate to just sit back and do nothing.
How do you feel that taking the knee is now no longer maybe like standard? Or
I think do it or don't do it. The fact that they're going to do it for 7 games now, I believe, you know, taking a knee for 7 games is not going to influence anything. If anything, in my opinion, it's going to go the opposite way. It's going to lead to more booing. I think fans and fan bases had become accustomed as to why players were taking a knee and understanding of that. So I think while you had a few boos at the start, that's been drowned out now with positivity. From my perspective, and a lot of the others who are in meetings try to actively change, you know, the conduct and legislation around racism, it's disappointing that this is the outcome, because we actually haven't got anywhere. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of we're going to, and this is going to happen, but actual solid change hasn't actually happened yet. Thank you. Another box. Now, this can mean one of 2 things. Either we've been into my nan's cupboard, or this is Elton John.
what does Watford mean to you?
Oh, Watford. Watford means a hell of a lot to me. I've been all over the world, you know, travelling, and people go, oh, Deeney, you play for Watford. Like that's just who I'm associated with, or it's Watford, and then you say Deeney next. So it's a wonderful place, massive memories, and yeah, just a place I'll call home. I have a massive head, so if I don't do these any justice out, and I apologise.
Going back to Elton, what's your relationship with him like?
Yeah, Elton is like a legend. You know that word just gets like thrown around, like he's a legend. But for me personally, whenever I've needed anything, he's been there. If I still need something now, I'm pretty sure he'd be there, vice versa. I remember we beat Arsenal. We were just driving out, I had my car taken to the stadium, so we come out the stadium in the FA Cup. His number just pops up, and it's like, maybe Los Angeles, and I was like, I don't know anyone. It's just like, I think it's a bit of a scam, so I'll just press it like, hello, a bit flipper, and he's like, hi Troy, it's Elton. I nearly crashed the car instantly. I was like, wobbling and everything. I was like, hi Elton, how you doing? He's like, great game, just watched it. It's like 4 a.m. here, go to bed. Just want to say well done to you and the team, have a great time. Then you just like driving, like sat in the car, like, just spoke to Elton John, like where did this come from? But no, fantastic human being, take these bad boys off. This is something my nan would wear, no jokes. Now this world class. The fact that you've managed to find that is world class. We've managed to transform this into a DVD, which it blatantly wasn't, but it's fun. So this here is childhood. I'm like smiling from ear to ear, as you can see. This is a Pele soccer skills like DVD here, but it was a VCR. And I know there's kids watching go, what's a VCR? It's an old school tape used to put in and watch things. We lived in a flat, in a council flat. So like 2 bedroom, 1 long hallway, really narrow. And we had a tennis ball, and my dad used to make us religiously watch this every day. And his method was, if you could do it with a tennis ball, you could do it with any ball. We had me and my younger brother Ellis, that's all we did, practice all day. It must have worked because both of us ended up being professional. Right, now we have a trick or treat. Something that I love versus something that I hate. This one's heavy. This one's safer. We're gonna go with this one. Oh, yeah. I nearly went then. Sorry, that's good TV. So what we spoke about earlier, thank God, these horrible things. Look. Oh, mate, I can't even touch it. It's foul, isn't it? A little bit of poo in the old trousers there, but it's fine. And I read a story not too long ago. Did you hear about a woman in Southampton? And she lets a snake lie in her bed. Crazy woman anyway, first and foremost. And this snake was like lying around her, and she said the snake hadn't eaten for 2 weeks. So she took it to the vet, like something's wrong with him, not eating. And the vet was like, he was sizing you up. So when a snake lies around you, he'd realised that he had to stop himself eating for 3 weeks to eat her. So he was going to eat her in her sleep. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why snakes are foul. So here's what I could have had. A bit like bullseye. Here's what you could have won. Ah, now this is proper. Game changers. Oh, they're cold as well. World class. If you've ever had a serious hangover, chocolate will liven you up. If you just want to enjoy yourself on a Sunday, Super Sunday, these two will get you in the mix. I am lactose intolerant, but these are worth the the next day. I'm Troy Deeney. That was Box to Box. Please click, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and tell me that the Yazoos are not top 5.
Perfect.
That's what I do. We call that one take Troy.